All right, boys and girls and parents, welcome in. We are going to go through what we've covered so far in unit number 3, dealing with ecosystems. We've made it a few pages into here already. First page we've got is our ecosystem vocabulary. This is a page that we'll be referring back to with vocabulary words throughout the entire unit. So students highlighted the words that they already knew before being taught, and as we go through this unit, they should all 41 words, should be highlighted by the end. Okay, so that's page 14. Page 15, I did a little activity with the students for whole brain teaching, but we learned about the levels of organization or levels of an ecosystem. And so there go from organism to population, community, and ecosystem. And then on the side, we actually drew what those levels look like and we defined them. So we had organism being a single living thing, we had populations being just the same species, but multiple of those organisms in the same place. Community was very similar, but it's a bunch of different populations. And then ecosystem was the interaction, that's on this page, the interaction between the living and non-living things in that same area. So I used the same pictures from like that community. So that was page 15, levels of an ecosystem. Then we went into page 16. This one was abiotic and biotic factors. We took a little tour of the wooded area outside the school. And so we were just writing down a list of things that were living, things that weren't. We learned about what limited factors were, and then we also learned about what the terms biotic and abiotic refer to, and we also listed several examples. There is a worksheet that we glued in, but we're going to get back to this at a later point. We just wanted to glue it in just to make sure we didn't forget it. We also ended up creating an anchor chart in our notebooks. So here's my abiotic, biotic factors anchor chart. So we broke it down because we've been learning about morphology. So we learned that the A in abiotic means without, bio means life. And together, this deals with all the non-living things in an ecosystem. And then we drew some examples of non-living things, such as this water, the sun, and the clouds, and the rocks down below. And of course, this rest in peace sign. We also got some things that are living or were once living in an ecosystem. So that could be underground, right? It's buried, it's turtle. We have some kelp. In other classes, I may have changed that up just slightly to just put a tombstone instead of instead of a sign. Then page 17, this was the day that they had a substitute. So they had to take some notes on decomposers. So they learned about scavengers and what their importance were to an ecosystem and environment, and then decomposers and what their importance was as well. And then we got a little quick look at what a food chain is. We'll be having a whole page and a lot of practice regarding food chains at a later date, but this was a nice little intro to kind of look at that. And then today's class, we ended up going into producers. So the stuff in blue is the stuff that we did today. So we covered what producers were, what their importance is, what happens with this energy and how it gets like passed on to other organisms that can't make their own energy. So that would be consumers. And what they will get to, but I'll go ahead and just leave it in this video, is the information about photosynthesis and how photosynthesis works. So the requirements of sunlight energy, CO2, carbon dioxide, and some water up through the roots, right? Together will help it form and create oxygen to be released as a byproduct of photosynthesis. And it will also store some food, right? This is that stored chemical energy that we get from plants. So like flowers, stems, leaves, fruits, all that good stuff. All right, so if your science notebook looks like mine, then you are good to go.